President Donald Trump denounced his former top strategist, Steve Bannon, on Wednesday, saying that he lost his mind after leaving the White House last summer. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind, Trump said of Bannon in a statement the White House issued. Now that he is on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. The statement represented an emphatic break from the person considered the architect of Trump's presidential campaign. Bannon continued to enjoy access to the president after he left the White House, but that has ended, one person familiar with the matter said. Earlier on Wednesday, New York Magazine published excerpts of a forthcoming book by author Michael Wolff in which Bannon criticizes Trump's campaign as well as the president and his family. The Guardian published excerpts of the book in which Bannon predicts that special counsel Robert Mueller will crack Don Jr. like an egg on national TV over the president's son's meeting with a Russian lawyer at Trump Tower in June 2016. Bannon also called Donald Trump Jr.'s meeting with the lawyer, in which he expected to receive damaging information on Trump's election opponent Hillary Clinton, treasonous and unpatriotic, according to The Guardian. Bannon, reached by Bloomberg News, declined to comment on the remarks published by The Guardian. In his 265-word statement, Trump went on to indict Bannon for some of his activities at the White House and afterward. He blamed him for the loss of a Republican Senate seat in Alabama in a special election last month and accused him of leaking to news reporters while he served as the White House chief strategist. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country, Trump said. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of a Senate seat in Alabama held for more than 30 years by Republicans. Steve doesn't represent my base, he's only in it for himself. Bannon backed former state Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore over Trump's preferred candidate, incumbent Sen. Luther Strange, in a primary election for the Alabama seat. Moore lost to Democrat Doug Jones in the special election after several women accused him of sexual misconduct while they were teenagers. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spent his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was, Trump said. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access and no clue, whom he helped write phony books. In addition to Wolff's book titled Fire and Fury, Inside Trump's White House, Bannon was the subject of a best-selling book published last year by Bloomberg Business Week writer Joshua Green, Devil's Bargain, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump and the Storming of the Presidency. Wolff, who New York Magazine said conducted more than 200 interviews for his book including with the president and most of his senior staff, also reported that Trump never expected to win the election and had promised his wife, Melania, that he wouldn't be president. She was in tears, and not of joy on election night as it became clear Trump would beat Clinton, Wolff reported.